What's happening, gang? I have been sitting on this one for a minute. Just been lazy, haven't gotten around to making many videos, and the ones I have, well, I've already released and you've seen them. This is a Sharpworx utility sharpener. Full disclosure, I purchased this on my own, but I had reached out to the company beforehand asking, and this is actually the only time I've ever done this, asking if they would send me one of these so I could test them out. Seeing this displayed on Instagram and a ton of ads, it really caught my eye. I mean, it's a freehand sharpener basically with a guided system here. So I was totally intrigued, wanted to check it out. I gave them about 2 weeks and they never replied. Maybe it was a week, I don't remember. It was a very short time. And I said, screw it, went ahead and purchased it on my own. After I made my purchase, they finally contacted me. They said that they checked out my YouTube channel and went ahead and gave me a full refund. So basically they sent this on for me to review on my own. So full disclosure there, I did pay for it at first, but they refunded it to me. So basically they gave me this for a review. That being said, you guys will always get an unbiased opinion from me. I don't care if a company sends me an entire line of sharpening stones. If there's a fault, I'll tell you about it. When I first got this, the idea of having a guided system on a freehand stone was just a no-brainer. The problem with this design, and the very first thing I noticed, is you can only use the particular size stones that they have. This is a 7 inch in length and like 2 5/8 in width diamond stone. You know, diamond stones are only, a couple, well, maybe not even a couple, less than ½ an inch thick. If it's any thicker, this guided system will not have the clearance to slide back and forth. As you can see, it's riding on these bars down here. If they could make this in such a way that you could use any universal stone or have a universal stone holder and place any freehand sharpening stone on this, man, it'd be knocked out of the park. This thing would be absolutely awesome. Another shortcoming is right here. You've only got a 7 inch surface, but because this thing is riding on this track and it's hitting these ends, you're not getting the full benefit of the stone. You're actually getting about 4 inches, if that, of actual sharpening surface here. Again, just a small shortcoming, but a shortcoming nevertheless. For someone who doesn't know how to sharpen, just wants to get into this, I think this is a solid piece of kit. You can adjust your angle right here by twisting this knob. That loosens this bracket and allows you to adjust your angle. So you've got 40, 30, 20, and 10. And then there's little dots in between that signify. So you got 40, that would be 35, the little dot, 25, and 15. So you can actually dial in the angle that you want pretty closely. Now it is a little flimsy, so it's got, a little play in it. But once you get it tightened down, it seems to hold pretty strong. I haven't seen it adjust too much on me while I've used it. Now, I've only used this twice, by the way, so I'm a little bit of a newbie when it comes to maintaining this thing. You can adjust this arm guide forward and backward just a little bit. I try to get it as close to the back edge as possible. Get that tightened in. I got it set around 20, probably around 22 degrees because I'm just a hair over. And after that, it's just a matter of putting your knife on it and going at it. Now, I'm going to use my Nakiri I recently purchased. What I'm doing here is cutting the edge off. I'm not going to use any lubricant. I'm just going to use straight stone like I would think any home chef would probably do. The idea is to just barely touch the edge to the stone, and you'll hear it as you lower the knife down. You'll hear it as it starts to grind. See, there's no grinding. I'm slowly lowering it. There it is, starting to grind on the stone. And as you go back and forth, you want to slowly move your knife this way to get the entire edge. And you can, of course, place Sharpie marker down if you want, see where you're grinding. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and do that and see where this is hitting. All right, I got some Sharpie marker on there. Let's see where this is actually grinding at. So it looks like I need to lower it just a little bit more. Yeah, I'm hitting right at the very apex of the knife, so I need to lower my angle just a little bit more. Get it a little closer to that 15-degree mark, maybe. I usually sharpen freehand around 18 degrees, so that's probably where this edge is sitting. So I got it a little closer. Now let's see what I'm doing. There we go. I'm starting to hit almost the entire bevel. I'm going to tighten this up a little bit so it'll quit moving on me. Now this stone does have just a hair of play, left and right, up and down, but it shouldn't affect the sharpening as long as it stays flat. So without further ado, we're just going to zip through this and get this knife sharp. I do need to adjust this angle a little bit more. I need to pull that guide out some so I can actually hit the stone. This little guide here is blocking me. There we go. I am going to use a little lubricant. I said I wasn't going to, but these diamonds are brand new and they are very coarse, so I'm getting a lot of friction. As you get used to it and learn the control of it, the smoother the transitions will become. As I said, I've only used this twice, so I'm still freshly new at it. I can see a few spots where I've totally missed grinding, just based on the reflection of light. Do the sharpening marker one more time. We'll make one final pass and flip sides, because I've already got a burr through most of the edge. Add a little more lubricant. There's probably some guys who are really good at this watching me just face palming the whole time, but sorry fellas, I haven't practiced on this much. Gone through the entire edge. The only spot that might be a little hiccup is right there at the very tip, but I'm going to leave that be. I'm going to flip sides. Now, sharpening this way is my normal stance. flipping on this side and using my left hand as the dominant hand, I'm terrible at. I have used a couple of these angle sharpeners and they've given me a little more confidence doing it, but my left hand is basically only good for washing my right hand. So you guys are gonna have to bear with me while we plow through this. I know it's gonna be it's gonna be comical, but just bear with me. Let's get this done. Yeah, that tip area is definitely a problem for me. But it looks like I did a better job on this side than I did the other. The burr is flipped everywhere except in here and down in the very base. Make another pass. And I'm kind of putting pressure right here where my finger is. Just getting that last little bit right there. Just a side note, using this, I got scratches all along the main face of my knife. Now this is a user for me, so I don't mind those. However, if this is something you're concerned with, you may want to put some tape across the face here or even across the main bevel of your knife to help prevent that. Also, which I should have noted at the beginning, is this does not come with the stone. You have to pay for the stone separately. So if you're out to purchase this, make sure you buy that stone because there are very few on the market that will fit this device. I went through everything in my collection and I didn't have a single stone. It's a 400, 1000, so we did the 400 grit. Now we're gonna finish on the 1K. You could probably move this guide to a point where the blade actually rests against it. But I find doing that, I don't quite get all the way down to the main bevel. Not to mention it's plastic. You're putting a razor sharp edge on this thing. Chances are you're going to cut that thing open. Split it wide open. It's going to be useless. And this seems to be doing what it's supposed to, so I'll just keep using it the way I am. I do have a burr. I'm going to go just a little bit longer. I'd like to refine that a little bit more. See if I can make this a fluid motion here. Alright, that's good enough. Flipping sides. Surprisingly, I think I'm working better on my left hand than I am my right hand. Don't know why that is. Had a burr. I'm gonna start doing some light, or try to do some light, back and forth passes. No longer feel the burr. Go ahead and clean this up and we'll come back and strop. For stropping, I just have a DLT XL strop with white compound. There's a bit of glare from my halo light here, guys. I apologize, but I'll of course read these numbers off to you. That is 119. I went way too fast on that. That's 56. We're gonna redo this one. $65. $78. The best C average came out to 80. That's pretty good, especially considering this is only like my third time using this thing. I thought those double-digit numbers at first were flukes, but it appears maybe that first test at 119 may have been a fluke. Regardless, it is crazy sharp. I could feel that in the cutting of the paper. And diamond seems to be pretty toothy, so you got that toothy sharpness. I think I got a little spot right here that I didn't quite get to. There was another one around here somewhere. Maybe this is it. Look kind of odd to me in the lighting. Regardless, the most of the edge is super sharp, and for a home cook or someone who does not know how to sharpen, this thing will get the job done and then some. You just got to follow the basic rules. Create a burr on both sides, remove that burr, and strop, and you're good to go. I mean, that works for sharpening on a cinder block as well as any sharpening stone. Regardless of how coarse it is, you should be able to get an edge that cuts paper cleanly. Sharpworx does sell another angle guided system, and I've got that one as well. That's going to be my next video. I just wanted to get this one out as quickly as possible because I've been sitting on this thing for probably over a month now, and I wanted to share my experience. I think it's a great kit, especially for someone who does not know how to freehand sharpen. Are there better ones out there? Sure, but you're probably going to spend more money to get a hold of those. There are some, like the Lansky and maybe even the Buck Hone Master, if you can find it on eBay, that are cheaper, that probably would get you similar, if not the same results. But for what it is, I would definitely recommend it for someone who is a home cook and just wants to get their knife sharp. Guys, that's all I got for this one. If you have any questions or comments, as always, leave them down below. I appreciate y'all watching. Have a good one.